Yes, I will.
Hello, guys. So we will wait for 1 more minute in case some people are arriving, and we will start. We are live from Pink House.
Is there no?
It should be.
I take some time. But yo,
Okay, people, 2 more minutes. Invite everyone from your LC, and we will start. And here Marilia has a message for you.
guys, applied biology, OGT is amazing.
Woo. Do you want to say something? Okay, I think we can start. So, guys, I will start sharing my screen with you. Share. Yay! Okay. So, welcome everyone to EB Consultancy Space from Isaac for Poland. Yay! Okay, today it's going to be amazing webinar. We have some special guests that will talk a little bit about their experience being EB member. Um, and yes, remember that since this is a YouTube broadcast, I cannot read your questions, but if you start having questions, you can write them on the comments in YouTube. And if you still don't have, start gathering them for the space for questions, because this will be the most important, because after all, this is like for you, and we want to make it as useful for you as possible. And these are the few things that we're going to talk about, why we're here, what are the main responsibilities of an LCVP, why it's super good to be an LCVP, and of course, questions time, which is for you. And so, like I said before, if you have any questions, you can start gathering them and writing them for us to answer. So let's start. Why are we here? Why do we invite you, possible EB applicants or already EB applicants or people thinking that being EB could be good? We're here because, of course, being EB is the ultimate leadership body of an LC, and it's a super, super important role that really shapes the culture of a whole LC and can shape many, many things in many different levels. Also, because when you are an EB member, you have the chance to literally also shape the history of your LC, and you can be remembered for years and years because of what you achieved in your term. And also because, as you know, we will have other consultancy spaces for specific for each area. But when we apply to EB, we apply to be in this leadership body that we were talking about before. And it's super important that we understand that before being LCVP of our areas, we are EB members, and we need to make decisions for our LC to take it forward and to keep on growing and being better and better every year. So that being said, we will go through the next point, which is what are the main responsibilities of an LCVP. And in this case, we decided to divide into three main things, which are lead, manage, and achieve. These are the three main points that an LCVP usually tackles in their roles. And what you might wonder, what means to lead? Why do I have to lead as LCVP? So you have to lead because you are basically the leader of your area. You are the person who is leading your team leaders, your coordinators, your members. Everyone who is part of your department will be led by you. Also because we need to implement team standards with all of these people that I was mentioning before, and this is also a very important part of leading. Because you're not only leading your area, you're also being the leader of your LC, and you need to be role model. You need to show yourself as the person who is taking the LC forward. And also because we are guardians of the ISEC way, and in the ISEC way, of course, as you know, we develop leadership to achieve peace and fulfillment. So we need to lead, basically. And this embodies everything that is regarded like the attitude that we have regarding our role. Also, we need to manage, and this is the most functional and operational part of our daily work as LCVPs. We need to create a plan. When we go to planning, usually to a cool place, and then also in the planning, we need to create this plan and a way forward for our LCs. And we need to make this plan. We need to analyze the past history of our LCs. We need to think, okay, how were things happening? What were the contexts, and what do I want to improve? And of course, as the year goes by, we also need to keep track of the things we planned and report to our LC every month at least. Also, we need to, of course, manage the resources of our LC. Our LCs have a lot of resources. We have people, we have money, we have information, we have offices, we have, going from simple things as objects that are a resource of the LC to the most important one that are the people there that make it be what it is. And also we need to make decisions regarding those resources. And we always need to make those decisions thinking about the sustainability and the growth of the LC. And last but not at all least, we need to achieve, this is a very important part of our role as LCVPs, and we need to constantly be analyzing our performance. We need to constantly analyzing our performance, our activities, what are we doing, what are the things, our strengths, our weaknesses, how can we improve, and finding bottlenecks, and seeking solutions and efficient ways of working for not only for you, but also for the team that you are leading. And why is this super important? Because if we set a goal, we set this goal to achieve it, because we know that by achieving our goals, we will be closer to develop more leadership in the world, of course, to be closer to peace and fulfillment of humankind potentials, which is basically why we are all here. So achieving is a very, very important part of our role as well. And also, we wanted to put a little bit about what is like the requirements, let's say, that we need to have as LCVPs. And one of them is what are the behaviors that we need to have. And of course, they are just the behaviors of the whole organization in the whole world. As you know, we have the competencies, and these are the mind competencies. And these are like the four, let's say, states of mind that everyone in the organization should have. We should be agile, we should be always strive for growth, we should be empathetic, not only with the people that we work, but also with our customers, with the youth, with our enablers. And we need to be eager, we need to make sure that everything we do, we take it forward, that we want to start new things and always to be improving and trying new things. So these four behaviors are super core for every LCVP position. And of course, this might seem obvious, but it's super important to always have it in front of us. What are the values we need to have? Simply, and of course, the values of ISEC. So please never forget about this, because this is the core of our organization. And if we're living these values ourselves, for sure our LCs will, and for sure we will make sure to create better leaders for the future. Yay! today, and this is all about what it's like being an LCVP. And we received a lot of information. I was telling you some things about achieving, leading, etc., etc. Of course, you will be able to read a bit more in detail about each role, because each role has different MOS, KPIs, activities that you have to do. If you're in operations, it's one story. If you're back office, it's one story. But like I was saying, today we wanted to focus on what it's like being an EV member, and why, in this case, it's super good to be an EV member. So this is why we're talking about these general concepts. And now I really wanted to share with you some stories from the members of MC Tempo. And the first one who is going to share is Marilia, or alias Lila.
So, thank you. So, hi guys. I'm talking about my AP experience. Actually, the first one has I was VP because I was SP2, and it was in 2015. And actually, I decided to apply to EB or LCVP more about the experience of EB. But basically, because I want to do more, not just for my LC, but for my city, for my country, I knew that we really need ISAC. And also, like when it talks about the LC, we want to get out of this being average to be the best. And we start to understand that to be the best one, to be our best version, we have to start to focus in shaping the culture of be the best version that we want to be. And we have to actually have a change of attitude. So first, it was about shape the culture of results inside LC, and shows that we are there for a purpose, and we are always be there for a purpose. So it was the main thing. So it is about results. It was like to put people that really want to work and have really good tracking about people that are giving something to the entity, not just taking something from there. And the second one was shape the culture also in terms of the city and what we are proud of. So my city is very, how do you can say, very like multicultural, and it has their own way of being received and their own way of staying received, and we want to show that we are proud of this. So we shape the whole culture for this. For example, my EB was the first EB to have a Portuguese name, and not just in Portuguese, but also like the name is Ebe Cordel, that basically means kind of literature that just have in my city. It was super cool, the idea of tell stories to the whole world that happens in Recife. And also, we want to show how proud we are for the city, but without also like not forgetting that we need to work to make her better. So it was not Recife is the best place, you cannot talk. It's like Recife is the best place, and we need to improve to continue to be like the best place to live and to work in everything that we need to have peace, not just in the city, but globally, because we believe that if we can act in the community, we can expand to the globally. So basically it was that we could really, really check this culture, and it was super cool.
Thank you, Lila. Lila was LCVPTM, right?
Yes.
Yay, Jen, go. Okay, and now we want to tell you the story of Fer.
Hey guys, I hope you're doing fine. Just to get to know a little bit more about me, I applied for being VP 4 times and I get it in the 5th time. I didn't get it in my home LC. I did it in another LC that it was not my home one. I was part of Isekenean. It was amazing. It's the first picture with the whole crew. The thing about that is that my best friend was part of this EV, and he really, really wanted to be LCP, but he was so insecure about what he was going to strive. So I was the one who was pushing him the most, and I actually take the chance to apply the 2nd time. So I was EV twice, and I pushed him to do the best, because I not only wanted to be him like the best person, the best LCP that he could be, but actually all the things that I was doing for my LC, I really wanted to make it grow, because in 1 year you don't have the chance to do all the things that you can see, and all the things that you can learn, you can put it in practice and do way much better in the 2nd year. So that's what happened. we were piloting in AI, and it was incredibly amazing because I have a whole new perspective of how to deal with the stuff. And it was not just about me; it was about the people and how we are like tackling all the troubles and things that were happening in Colombia, and how this growth in the LC was like achieving more and more things that we can ever like think before. So basically, that's my story.
Thank you, Fer. What were your roles in EB?
I was LCVP marketing and then operations.
Ooh,
Oh.
fancy. Okay, and now, not working. We wanted to bring you a local story. So we have our amazing Martita Kaniewska, and she's going to tell you a bit about her story, her EB story.
So hello guys. Yes, I was LCVP Finance in previous term in ISEC for Poland, basically. And you have to know that at the beginning of my experience, I was totally scared. But also I'm kind of shy from my nature. Yes, but I didn't know how to manage finance. And I also blamed my predecessor that I didn't get proper translation from him and so on. So at the beginning, I didn't know what direction I want my area to be developed. Processes were not standardized. Basically, I was trying to do something, but the things that I was doing were real basic, like making transfers and stuff. I didn't manage finance for sure. So yeah, I didn't know what to do, but also I didn't share this state of mind with anyone. So actually, after first half of my term, we are not in super cool financial situation, as our summer peak IGV brought us like unsustainability, I would say, because we lost a lot of money. But starting from this moment, I decided to change everything, like starting from my attitude, ending with my results. So yes, during our EB team days, I asked my EB to give me super honest feedback, what I can change, what I can improve, and I wrote after these days. I wrote it on the huge flip chart, and I hung it next to my desk to look at it every day. Yes, and actually, I finally started talking with my synergies and externals, looking for solutions and new perspective. And yes, I started meeting people regularly. I mean, from my EB and from our LC. And I also started to set expectations towards them and towards myself. Yeah, and generally, thanks to that, I grew a lot as a person, and I know that they grew as well. Yeah, and of course, my area grew as well. We earned 10,000 zloty on winter peak IGP realization, and we rebuilt our LC sustainability. So yeah, thanks to that experience, I grew a lot as a person, looking for new ways of doing things, open my mind, and actually never give up. So yeah, that's my story.
Thank you, Martita. We love you.
I love you too.
And now we have the story of our beloved Miligen Blanco.
Hello guys, I'm Millie. So as you can see in my EB we were many, but I was LCVP last year, so for me it was super cool experience. I also had a lot of self development like Marta, but I think the most important part of my experience was the fact that we grew more than 230 approvals. Like on the whole year, we achieved a total of 730 something approvals. And this was like, for us at the beginning, it meant like we were very ambitious with our goal. And even though we managed to accomplish it way before, like a bit after the middle of the term. So for us was even incredible to actually go beyond this. But this was not magical, or is not something that happened just because. It's something because we were strategical in the way we were doing our operations. So, for example, we had a really strong IR. All international relations in all areas were really strong. So, for example, I can tell you guys that I have friends in Italy, a bunch of countries and a bunch of cities from the world. So this made all the operations very easy to do. So it was not just like, oh my God, I'm working so much, but more about being working very smart. And also the fact that the back office was always supporting us. So we had a PD who was always trying to get IGV sustainable, like by doing CSR and stuff like this, but also TM was always supporting us in like giving education to the members in soft skills, like, I don't know, team management and time management and how to do things like very basic but are really necessary. And in general, I think the best was that we all were working together. Even we will do things together and like go out together. So in general, the experience was amazing. And for me, they are my family. And even though I'm far away, I still miss them a lot. So it was an amazing experience.
Thank you, Millie. Okay, and now I wanted to tell you about my story as Ivy. I was LCVP TM back in 2016, and my main learning was what, as you can read there, we understood that to be sustainable, we needed to grow. When we started our EV term, the previous EV was like a huge success. They had grew a lot. They had created a very, very strong culture. The LC was very good. Like I entered when the LC was in amazing shape. And when I got elected, for me, it was a big responsibility. First of all, because there were a lot of applicants. There were like 4 people that were left outside of the process. So when I was elected and I saw all the other people that was not there, I felt a huge responsibility that they had trusted me and not the other people who were as prepared as I was. And then when we started our term, we had a huge debt that I was calculating more or less will be like 8,000 zloty to the MC because of summer peak, which we managed very badly. And I remember that our first 3 months, it was just us trying to manage everything and trying to keep everything as healthy as possible. So we were very reactive. We were not really thinking long term. But after the 3rd month, we had like a switch in mind. And it was, we had our local conference when we recruited all the new people. And we were having it in one of the NGOs that we were receiving people. And I remember that was like a breaking point for us as EB. And from that day on, like OGX started to grow, and we achieved like the biggest amount of approvals that was never achieved in our LC before. We grew in OGV, we grew in OGT, and in OGE. That it was the year when it was starting, I remember. And we managed to grow a lot, and also in NGV we managed to do the same amount of exchanges that was done the previous year, which was also one of our biggest goals, because we really didn't want to set for this mindset that okay, everything was super fucked up before, so now I don't want to approve IGV anymore. We really wanted to do it because we really understood and we really wanted to bring more people, because we knew that this was what our city needed. We needed to bring volunteers because there are a lot of NGOs that needed them. So this was my story, and the same as Millie and as what everyone else was sharing, I still have the WhatsApp group with them, and we talk a lot, and they became like my family during that year. I was actually living with one of them, and it was a super, super cool experience. So now we will go to the space of questions, and I will turn on here the camera. I will stop sharing. And I will go back to read if you wrote any questions here. Yes, nobody wrote any questions. So we will just give you some time for you to write your questions that you might have. And if not, we have some. All right? Yes. If not, we have some questions that we have been gathering from some people. So you can ask us whatever you like to know. And yeah, this is more for you. So let's make this a friendly conversation. Okay. Okay. I think nobody's writing, so I will reply the questions. So I will read it, and then whoever feels the one more, we can reply. What is the reason that made you want to apply for EB? Okay, I can reply this one. So why I wanted to apply for EB, it was because for me, it was when I was a member, and then I was also like taking part in other projects. It was super, super powerful, and it taught me, like, I developed myself so much that I couldn't think of something that wasn't like delivering the same thing for more people. Like, if I was developing so much, why would I not want to keep on doing that and develop other people? And also, I think it was a lot because the EB that was there when I was member was super cool, and they were also showing that they were having so much fun and that they enjoyed their role so much that they really made me want to apply. So this is super important, and remember that your next EB applicants are being created since now. Next question.
Okay. Next question, how do you prepare for your term?
How do you prepare? You want to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hello. This is very tricky because actually, for example, when I started, I also, like Marta, didn't have a proper transition, but this didn't mean that I would do things wrong. Like, I think the most important thing for preparing for the term is curiosity, making questions. Like, for example, the MC is like, our job is basically educate you on how you should do your operations in whichever area that you are. So you first have to start with everything that you don't know, and even the things that you don't know, you can just unlearn and learn again and try to make things better by just asking questions and being curious.
Great. And we received a question that it says, what are the duties of EB towards MC, things EB have to send, or questionnaires that have to be filled, and the rest? Okay, so this is a very good question, and it actually depends on the MC, because each MC plans their strategies, and like as Millie said, the work of an MC is basically to serve you guys. The job is to serve the LCs. So everything we do, always the purpose is to make the LCs be better, be faster, be stronger, be whatever way you want to say it. So that's the thing. And regarding what information should be sent, for example, the strategies we are having right now is we are having one monthly engagement survey that are sent at the beginning of the month. And we send this information to LCP teams so that they can organize it. Then also LCPs have to reply monthly SONA. This is also like information from your LCs that we use to analyze and to give a better support for you. And I think nothing else, right? I think this is it. Also, of course, like we send emails and we set a routine of work, but this is something that we agree with the EBs beforehand, and that we talk to you and we make sure that everyone is on board with their routine and that everyone agrees. And then we have another question, and is, do you have any important tips when it comes to whole process?
Okay, I can give you the tips. Thank you so much. So, I believe that in the whole process, it's important first research about the product, about what's happened for the next year, because some of the things will change and this kind of stuff. So it's super good when you do this kind of research. Second one is be yourself and show your strategies and collect feedbacks. So for me, like personally, and like, what do you want for this area? What do you want for the next year? What do you want for the LC? Really think about these questions and make your proposal, but also like takes feedbacks, because we never know about everything. And I don't know, I think you're never going to know everything. So if you just focus in that thing that you could research and the things that you are, you cannot, like, will not change, it will be the most important.
Somebody write the question? I think no. Do you have the other questions?
Yes, but
Joseph.
I actually sent
She
to
sent
everyone.
that, yes.
Oh, okay.
And which role did you take into account? Did you consider others? Why?
Mm. Okay, I can tell about me super fast. When I applied, I was applying to OGX and like OGT or OGV, and also that was open back then. And I was applying to that because I felt that I had the most experience in those roles. Simply because of that, I never even thought about the other roles. This is just because of me. I think it changes, like it varies a lot between person and person. And then after the process, my LCP decided that she wanted me for TM. And at the beginning, I was like, "Oh, that's weird," but then I really enjoyed it, and for me, it was super cool. Other question?
What do you think a VP should focus on?
Oh, sorry, we have a question here. What would you say to a person that often doubts their abilities, readiness, and being not good enough? Who wants to reply?
Marta.
Yes, it's written.
So I would say very similar to what Marilla said, that actually you have to be prepared for never being 100% ready, and all the time looking for solutions and asking people. Yes, and when it comes to abilities, I believe that we are able to learn everything, even like the one thing that you need actually to learn is that you want to learn, and then everything is possible. Yeah.
Amazing. And also we have a question that says, are there any other sources of knowledge besides the ISEC Hub? I think the ISEC Hub is the official one. So basically everything is there. But if you want other specific things, like for example from ISEC for Poland, you will have to research from people with the past role. Like for example, specific data about your LC from past years ago, that is not something you can get, for example, from EXPA. You will have to ask previous EVs from your LC. Yes, and same. But I would say that in the hub, it's the basic, all of the stuff is all there.
You can also ask for the MC also.
Yes, you can ask us. We can help you. We are a source of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes, but I would also add that in terms of legal stuff and all the things, actually they are not, like, we still don't have this base to store them. So to gather this information, you actually have to ask me, search.
Yes. Okay. So we have, how would you encourage LC members who are not convinced to application to become part of a part of Next TV?
Again, can you repeat the question?
How would you encourage LC members to become a part of Next TV? People who are not convinced. Come to this webinar!
No, actually, one of the things is that I think that if you want, you can actually. And if you think that you can apply, like, because most of the things like are really like fears and this kind of stuff. But in my mind, and I think it was it that makes me apply to MC actually. It was like if you thought about apply is because you want, and if you want, you can. Like the rest, the process, everything you can prepare. But I think that if you think about applying, is because you really want.
Okay, so next question, I'm going to answer it because it's especially exactly my experience. Why? Because I'm Venezuelan, but I was LCVP in Colombia. So the question is it harder to another nationalities to have a good experience to apply for EV? Well, I think first of all, the idea of ISEC is exactly to live diversity, so you have to take this into account. Of course, it's not going to be easy. For example, in my case, I was VP IGB, and in Colombia there is already a lot of stigmas against Venezuela, so I have to deal a lot with this. mostly because I was in this area that is like, talking to stakeholders and people, blah, blah, blah. But the experience is completely amazing. And I think one of the things that made me love Colombia a lot was my EV experience. So if you're thinking about it, but you are not sure because you're international, don't think about it anymore, just apply because it's really amazing and it will give you a lot of ownership for the place where you're living right now.
Yay. Could you share 3 tips how to prepare for a general assembly in 24 hours?
I feel that now the question is for me. You know that interview that has, I'm applying. Maybe.
First of all, don't do it in 24 hours. So have more time doing it more.
Okay, let me think. First, be sure about what do you know, and if you don't know, you say like I don't know, but I will research. I didn't think about this point, and have this clear that you're not going to solve everything. So, and you're not going to know everything. So, be clear about you know. Second, to prepare. You can prepare actually in front of the mirror before to see like how your speech and if the things that you're telling it's the things that you really want to say. And another tip that you should prepare in 24 hours.
Maybe it's like I think you already said it, but have super clear what you want to say. What is your main proposal? And make it like 3 points that you can really remember fast. And make this like your why. Like it has to be something that really comes out of you. Like don't make up stuff if you want to like look cool. Simply like tell what you really want for the LC because this is what people look after.
I have a third one. Is like a lot of people that were there. They were in the same position. Like they have to apply to formal member or something like this. So just remember they are people that are trying to make ISX group and not like enemies or something like this.
Mm-hmm. And we have another question that says, do you have any GCPs or VCPs about teamwork as EB? Well, this is very interesting. I have. Do you have also?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. I will say super fast. Like for me, the key is to be vulnerable. Like if you don't share with your team what is going on with you, it's not going to work. It's going to be like the faces of teams when you have a fake. What is this thing? Fake. Okay, I don't remember. That is like this part when everything is nice, but it's actually fake. Yeah, like the honeymoon. Exactly. Once you go through that phase and you really get to know people, that's when the good thing starts, let's say. Like it's not that the previous part is bad because it's necessary, and of course we all take some time to trust everyone, but you really need to trust your team and to be vulnerable with them. This is the key point. Like if you don't trust your team, then it's not going to be good.
Yes, I think also like enjoy the moments that you are together. Like is the main thing, because like it will be when you're going to connect with these people. I know that we talk a lot in WhatsApp and whatever, but you really connect with people when you're like in front of them, when you're solving case with them, and when you work with them. So have a lot of these moments, team moments. Really, for me, like works a lot. And I think also like be honest and know how to do feedback. If you need, I think Jury can give some kind of like, how do you say, yeah, tips about like how to give feedback. But I also think that is very important because you don't hold things like for you and say like, oh no, this person sucks, and you stay for you. Just like go there and see it this day. I see that you did this not good. You need help, and I didn't get it. You can tell us. Yes, and feedback I think is the most important thing for the person to grow. Can hurt or can be make us sad in the beginning, but after when we improve this, we can see like thanks for the person that said me that I need to improve in that thing.
Mm-hmm. You have something?
Oh, well, yes, sure. Okay, I think one thing, because for example in my EV, at least in EV meetings, I was always fighting with OGB, like always. All the EV meetings I was fighting with OGBs. But the thing is that after the EV meeting was done, we were able to separate things. So there's things that are operational and things that are personal. So it's very important that you understand that it's completely different and that you have to, have a complete sense of what each of these is on your life. So even though we were fighting in all EV meetings, after that we were like, I don't know, eating together or like calling each other and stuff and going to each other's house. And actually, still, she's one of my best friends. So it's very important that you enjoy the experience and not only complain and stuff and keep only the operational things. It's also to make friendships and have a family for the rest of your life.
Can I also?
Yes.
Like I think also it's important to always take care of individuals of the team. Like there's very often that not everything works super great, and some people maybe don't perform as well as they would like to perform. So it's also super important to try to understand why it happens and make them feel that you really take care of them and actually take care of them, and always try to help also, because we don't lead our separate roles, because we're a team at the end of the day. So yeah.
Cool. And we have another question. It says that what I wrote in an application is contradictory to the LCP's vision, but I believe in it. How to deal with this situation? So I would say that you can have a sincere talk with your LCP elect and tell them that, okay, so how can we deal with this? Like, why do you think that this thing should be like that? And why do I think this thing should be like that? And like literally have a honest conversation about it. And then ask the LCP if this would be something that will affect your election. But I really think that this not like depends on how much contradictory it is. If it's something that is inside the ISEC way, and if it's something that will bring us more peace and fulfillment of human rights potential, delivered through leadership and delivered through more exchanges, then it should be fine. So yes, I think that's my opinion. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, for me, like also depends of the point, and this believe it because you believe it because it's really based in data that you have, and there's this kind of things. You can just approach the LSP and talk with her like why she get this vision and why you're different, and maybe like you don't have to agree with everything, but if you just can like work together with this, maybe like can work. I think that we have like everyone has a different vision of how should be like some kind of things work, but this doesn't mean that we cannot work together. Okay, anyone has something else?
And I think there is one more question that is super interesting. It's we can answer. How was your LC during your term? I mean, how many members, their commitment to the committee, and how to motivate the LC to achieve goals? Who wants to answer?
I can start. I just have to remind me. Okay, my LC has when it started, it was very like not so driving to results, and it was the first thing that we think we need to people be driving to results. And what we did, we really have like feedbacks and conversations about like, and we start to track their jobs and not just the results, but if they are doing the tasks that they have to do. So it was the first thing, and we start to. I forgot what I was about to say. I'm so sorry. Yes, and we start to like show that actually it has a hashtag that we use a lot of time. That's like it's not a kids play. We start to show that it's ISEC, okay, it's driving by students, okay, it's young people, okay, but it doesn't mean that it's a game or that you can just be there or just do like a small thing, because when you think about people that really put the effort, they really put their soul and their mind in this work, we cannot work also with people that don't do the same kind of sacrifice, the same kind of engagement and commitment. And we want people like this. So it was everything about the message that we passed in all of the meetings. So in the meetings that was like else meetings, area meetings, and like in conference for sure. And I have 70 members, more or less.
In my case, when we started the term, we had around like 20 people, and throughout the year, we always had between 30 and 40. We had a high rotation of people. Like this was something that we really wanted to improve, but I think it was like more the job. Like I think the next we actually managed better than we did. And how to keep them managed, I think it was a constant analysis of how they were feeling, what are the messages we were passing, and it changed a lot. Because, for example, I was telling you before that during the first 3 months of our term, we were very like reactive, and of course, the version was like very bad, like there was no nothing. But when we improved as EB, like really the LC improved and the people improved. So it's really like people are your reflection 100,000 million% a lot. Even it will really scare you how much they can copy the things that you say and do. So be really present, like when you are EB. And for us, like it was also like we had our team stand or something like this. We had like 6 main phrases that we wanted to really put into people's minds, and one of them was like today I'm better than I was yesterday. Another one was together is easier, and then others that I don't remember, but they were really present everywhere. And for example, we made our awards with that, we had a newsletter and it was with that, and those behaviors were really sticking to people's mind. And actually the other day I was going through my Instagram stories and I sorry, pictures, and I saw that one of our members was putting pictures with the hashtags of the things that we put in our EV stand. So that's how much they can get what you say and how much it can stick into their minds. Yes, I think it's that, and also leading a lot with example. Like you really have to, if you want them to do anything, you have to do it first. There's no way that a member will, I don't know, like go to an activation if you don't go first there and show them how it's supposed to be done, because that's leadership, you know, like I show you how, then I do it with you, then you do it, then I give you feedback, then you do it and I just congratulations. Okay, and then how to deal with age gap amongst candidates. 5 years difference.
Well,
We have like 10 years.
yes. Funny.
Amazing question.
Okay, I'm going to answer.
No,
I'll hear you answer.
No.
So, because we don't know, there's an older person, younger person. So, I will talk about the side of the older person. I was not the oldest in my ED, but I was almost. Really? I'm sorry, okay? So, but I had this kind of mindset also, like, oh, should I apply because I'm already like older and like I don't want to like deal with kids, you know, I don't want to have to take care of kids, you know, this kind of stuff. But actually, like what I most could notice is how Isaac can show that's not about the age. Actually, like because we have a lot of people that are very responsible, that are very mature, and actually they have like 19, 20, 21, like this, and how we have people that has 27, 8, 9, and they're really, really mature and really, really egocentric. So yes, almost a personal case, but really, like it's really it was I think it's more about the person than about the age. And you?
Yeah, for me, like I was also not the youngest, but I was still like the second youngest, something like this. And the thing is that I was also the one with less ISEC experience. So I was the youngest and with less ISEC experience. So I was like prone to be a bad BP. But for me, it wasn't, and also for my EV in general, it was not an excuse, or it was not a reason to not give results. And also in our LC, I remember one of the top performer members, he was 16 years old because he started like, he was super smart, so he started university really young. And it's not about what Lila was saying, it's not about the age or if someone is younger or older, it's more about how you take responsibilities and how you like take ownership for the LC and for the role that you have. And then it doesn't matter if you're younger or older, and if you have to, live with these people in general, it's just about how you decide to work with each other. So it's not about the age at all. And we are also, because Lila is 29 and I'm 21, but we love each other.
Yes, best friends sometimes.
Yes. Also, in my experience, it's the same. Age doesn't really matter. We're all young at heart. Okay. So I think there are no more questions. Also, in the questions we have, we really answered most of them. But as we said before, remember that we are all here all the time. You can write us on WhatsApp. If you don't know where to find us, ask your LTP or your LCVP closest, and they will for sure send you our WhatsApp numbers. Yeah, or we're also in Facebook. I don't know. Some people are in Tinder, so you
You can find us there also.
yeah, so you can ask anyone. But yeah, I guess the final message is being EB is amazing. Apply, take the chance, be your best self in your application process, and the best of luck.
Yes, I also like it. One of the things that I would like to let here is like really look for also as for your VP, to VPs and to LCPs for your LC and for other LCs, you can contact them also, like, and ask about the experience of them. And bye, people.
Bye.
Adios. Ciao, ciao.